This is video 3. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the fiction. Okay, so yeah, the dummy corporation's always in the red, right? Because it's always got some bill to pay, and it's always wages are always controlled, right? As a dummy corporation, because it's always what minimum wage or not minimum wage. It's salary or commission. But the wages are always controlled for the dummy corporation, and then the housing's controlled. The market's always controlled, right? The housing's controlled. The mortgage, how much they're gonna pay for rent, mortgage, or food's controlled. How much inflation, right? The interest rate, all that's controlled, right? So if the market is controlled, wages are controlled, and the dummy corporation is never going to get ahead, right? Never going to get ahead. They're always going to be a slave, right? Used to support the system, the parent company, right? Because they're basically just subsidiaries anyway, right? Yeah, they're always in debt, right? So they go to this school. They go when they start school at 5 years old to get the corporate conditioning, right? How to be a good dummy corporation, how to work hard, and one day they can grow up and be president of all the other corporation, of all the other dummy corporations, and do what they're told to, because the corporate system, the class system, is really a dummy corporation system. You be a good dummy corporation, pay all your bills on time, and we'll give you good corporate loans where you can go out and buy your home and think your home is really a home and it's really a business. Okay, it's really a business. Well, we're gonna go further in that. Okay, so they go to school and start the dummy corporation conditioning. It begins. Okay, they begin to recondition, to reprogram from the nature mind, where you want to be a writer, to you want to be an accountant. You want to be, and there's nothing wrong with being an accountant if you like working with numbers and you like doing that, but the point is, the system, the way it's designed, all monetized, and it does not give the dummy corporations an opportunity to really advance their life and move beyond what used to be middle class, or living above the poverty level. Because their income is always regulated in some form or fashion. Inflation, whether it be the interest rate, whether it be salary or commission or something. They're always very regulated, right? But they're told to be good, and they'll get a pay raise. Okay, they'll get a pay raise one day. If they're really good, don't ask a lot of questions. Don't talk back too much. Don't be too curious. Just work hard. Okay? Okay, so they're put through the many systems of commercial prism class stereotyping and control, right? Fragmentation and misinformation. Okay, this perception, constant misinformation and altering the perception, okay, becomes whereby the vision becomes impaired, right? The vision begins to shift, where the person is no longer has feelings like a human being. They're desensitized, right? Just like the corporation, and they begin to treat. It's easy to comprehend man's inhumanity to man, right? When they see each other as just another nickel or a dime, a dollar, or $10, whether $100 or bottom line, right? Their vision begins to shift. They lose less value for human life and more value for material goods, right? That's what holds value for the corporation, right? So they have a corporate mind. Work hard, lots of money. They have a corporate mind, a corporate suit, even a corporate attire, right? The tie, which ties them to the corporation, right? It's really the lasso, right? And not the lasso, but the noose that ties them to the commercial birth certificate, right? It's their umbilical cord, right, around your neck, right? And you know what happens to that one, okay? Okay. So So the child's vision begins to shift. His value for life begins to change. Even his interests change. Whereas before, he may just want to be a fireman, right? But now, who wants to be a fireman? Who wants to save life? Who wants to do grand things like that? They want to have the corporate idea. Okay, they want to grow up and get an education and pay bills, right? Okay. And go in debt, like everybody else, like their father, like their grandfather's father, all the way back prior to what? The birth certificate system, right? Okay. Take them off the land, give them birth certificates, right? Okay. Okay, so they have the corporate idea, their perception of reality shifts more from a natural perspective to an unnatural because of the programming, right? The corporate perspective is an unnatural perspective, whereas the natural perspective is, caring about the environment, caring about their brother, caring about their sister, caring about their humanity, their more humanitarian side, more empathetic side, right? For all humanity, and of course the earth, right? Have that childlike innocence, right? Okay. And then they start to be hard and cold, right? Insensitive, right? Because now, what? Because money talks, right? Money is the power. And the more money they got, the more power they have, the more influence they have, the more recognition they have in society, right? And they can do whatever they want to whomever they want because now they got group consciousness, right? And because I'm a certain part of a class, certain part of a group, and my group is better than your group because we're monetized more for a greater value, we're better, and so we can look down in a condescending manner upon others, right? Because we're in a better position, right? We're Americans. You're third world, right? Okay. We eat with forks and spoons. You with your hands, right? You live in what? What's it in Africa? They live in shanty. You live in a shanty town, and we live in suburbs, right? We're in debt and they're in debt and live. One class is in debt living in suburbs, the other one's living in a shanty town. They gotta pay for it, but it's a shanty town, right? Okay. Okay, so they feel empowered, right? They dress like the corporation, right? We talked about that, the suit and tie. That's respectable attire, right? It's respectable. They eat like the corpse, right? Fast food, right? McDonald's, eat little babies, right? They eat what they're told to eat, right? The pyramid for nutrition, right? They eat what they're told to eat. The genetically modified food. It don't hurt nobody, right? They're told how to eat. They're told who to love, right? I mean, you gotta love someone of your own class, your own caste system, okay? Your own income bracket, okay? Your own culture background, your own racial heritage, okay? You got to be organized that way. Society, commercial society has to be structured and have order this way, okay? Of course, you want to marry somebody who's from your same class. Okay, your same commercial class, your same, your same birth value. Okay. Now, and everyone born black or white, you're a slave. You have a birth certificate, you're a slave. Driver's license, you're a slave. Passport, you're a slave. Now, I know it's hard but the whole system has to be changed. Because it can't be using a passport. Only the reason you have a passport, you got to travel, I understand. And that's the way it's structured. It has to, but the only way it's going to change is you change it. You got to demand to not be part of the slave system. Once you once you as humanity began to to walk away from that system and stand out of that caste system, that birth certificate casting system, then you will have your liberty back, and they won't be forcing it upon you, because they don't have a right to force it upon you, because you're basically, they're bracing you to forcefully be enslaved to a commercial institution. And even if it's a government, even the government cannot hold you, forcefully hold you, because you're a man, you're a human being, and you're created by Allah, you're created by the Creator, and only He has power to control you. Only He owns you. That's why you can't be a slave. That's why it's sacrilegious, it's ungodly, it's uncivilized, it's barbaric, it's brutal. And that's why they can be brutal. That's why they can be barbaric. That's why they can be insane. That's why they can be not hold themselves accountable, because you're seen as their freaking property. When they're gang raping, they're not accountable, because if they're raping how can they rape their property? If they got a birth certificate and belong to someone, okay, you can't rape property. If it belongs to someone, you can do what you want with it. What is it? Possession is 9/10 of the law. How can the law tell? That's why the law can't tell man to do. That's why the law cannot do to man whatever he wants, because he does not own man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns man, because He created man. So only He can do and dispose of man the way He wills. That's why the government can't do anything to man unless man is harming himself or harmful to others. That's the law. If a person is harmful to themselves or harmful to others, then that's where the marshal comes into play. Okay, that's a criminal offense to which the government should be prosecuted, because look at all those people it beats on the street, the black people, and even killing white people, and killing anybody on the street that's wrong. But you see what they're doing to black people the most. So it has to be spoken, it has to be addressed by all humanity, not just black people who have the same great richly hued, like those getting beat on the street simply because they are richly hued. Okay, but the system's going to fall. It's going to fall. It's going to fall. This birth certificate system is going to fall. So that's why it's important for you to get your gifts. Okay, those things that you love to do. That what you love to do is your gift. If you love gardening, that's your gift. That's your gift. And through that love, you're going to do something very beautiful with that and share with the world. Because you're unique, so whatever you love is going to come out unique. Okay? So that is why, if you love cooking, cultivate that. So when it goes upside down and you're called to to generate your own income, you can do it off of your cooking. Okay? You can do it off of, if you love driving, you can do it off of your driving. But whatever you love doing is your gift. That's your gift. Because you love doing it. That's a gift. Because it preoccupies your time. If you say, I could do this all day, but I gotta go to work. That work part tells you you're a slave. You gotta go to work, you're a slave. But you say, I'd rather stay home and do this all day. That's telling you, I'd rather stay home and do my gift all day. Then you need to stay home and do that all day. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be refining that just as it's gold, because that's your gold inside. That's your pot of gold. And if you say you can stay home doing that all day, that's your gift. That's your passion. And that's what you need to be doing, because that's what's going to make you happy. And happiness is very important to mental health. That's why there's a lot of angry people, sad people, miserable people, angry people. Because they're not happy. They're not happy because they're not being themselves. They can't do what they want. Like Michael Jackson says, have you seen my childhood? It was stolen from birth, or through the birth certificate system. Ain't nobody seen their childhood. Not only Michael Jackson, but nobody's seen their childhood. I ain't seen my own childhood. I'm getting my own childhood back. And if you see adults acting like children these days, once they lose a birth certificate, that's like getting buck naked swimming in the river, swimming, having fun in the river. And back when they were kids, like swimming in the lakes, with no inhibition, freedom, liberty, emancipation. So when you see these mature people doing all that and jumping around like kids, because they never had a chance to be a child before. There was childhood was stolen with the birth certificate system. Regulated from a child. Got to go to school from 9 to 5. Wake up in the cold and go to school in the snow. Regardless if I'm an evening person. Okay? And I got to sit in that classroom all day and got to raise my hand when I got to go to something that's natural and I got to go pee. I got to go raise my hand. My belly get hungry and start roaming in the classroom because I really don't like eating at 5. I really don't like eating breakfast in the morning. I like eating more. My appetite really wakes up at like 12 o'clock, but I'm sitting in the classroom because my appetite just woke up. You need to have different times for school. College and school, you need to have a different kind of regulate school. Some children are morning children, some children are afternoon children. You have a better learning scale, you know. But because birth certificate got to be forced. Everything's got to be forced. Okay. Got to deal with their forced curriculum, right? And then home is ran like a home, teaching you to love your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your uncle, your aunt, well, you should, but you know what I'm saying, teaching you to love your neighbors and all this kind of stuff, and spirituality. And you're really a corporate building. You're really a corporation. Corporations aren't talked about God. Corporations are there to serve the Creator. Humanity as well, but you have free will to think, but corporations got to be regulated, right? So they're teaching you to act like basically a passive human being in a very commercial world, harsh, hostile, brutal, dog-eat-dog, bear's market world, right? Teaching you to be kind and sensitive. And then when you go into that bear market world, right? That Bearcles world is like, oh, it's time for it's fearful. It's fearful. It's very fearful. I was fearful of that bear market. Of its brutality, its force, its raping. It rapes people. And then when you think children are scared, children are timid, children are shy, children don't speak up for themselves, children are easily violated, it's because the system rapes them at birth. They don't see their childhood. It takes them away, takes it away from them. And they don't know who they are because they never had time for what they love because they were whisked away to school. So they didn't get a chance to sit down and play at 5 years old and 6 years old and learn what they really like doing. And their parents didn't get a chance because they were too busy trying to pay the corporate tax. So nobody knows who they are, what they can do, their gifts, their talents. All they run around and say is, I love doing this. Why don't you do it for the rest of your life? Because that's what you were born to do. Whatever you love doing, you were born to do it for the rest of your life so that you don't get bored with this life. Doing things you don't like doing. So Allah gave everybody something they love doing. That's a gift. And with that gift, you can monetize that gift. And when the market collapses, and it's going to, when people start taking their birth certificate back by the thousands, by the millions, and that's when that Vatican will fall. And that's when they say, when you see many of them coming out of Babylon, you better run for the hills, run for the mountains, because it's going to fall. And Babylon has a big nasty ass full of shit. And when she shits, when it shits, it's going to shit on everything around it. Okay? So better run, better have something to back your ass up. That's your gift. So you better start working on it now. Okay? You better start cultivating it now. Okay? So you will have something to take care of your loved ones. Okay? Okay. So, yeah, so they do that to the child, right? And start, and then giving them a grade system, right? In the school, oh, you got an F, you got a D, you got a C, you got failing, dummy status, right? What's that other one? Of average is a C, right? Okay. grading and making them think they're dumb, and then they get stuck in the system, just like frozen in mid-air, right? They get animated, right? But they weren't dumb enough. They weren't dumb enough. They call monetize the handicap. If a person's born, if the person was born with no brain, they still give them birth. They still monetize them. That's how insensitive they are, right? So then they send them to their to conform, and when they can't be conformed, it's like they're dummy. Okay, and they're not going, and that trail of alphabets fall. The alphabets follow that child all throughout their life, right? And they can't get in college. They can't go. Their high school are jacked up, right? Because they've been labeled, right, a dummy through that system, right? Through that birth certificate monetized identity theft system, right? Because they didn't get a chance to find out who they were and how good they are and what they really love working with, right? Yeah. Okay. So they're putting these corporate schools, right, to be domesticated in all their human nature, to be washed out, right? To washed away from their nature. They're to be further strayed away from their nature. Okay, their natural self, and they will act more in the capacity of a corporation. Okay, of the corporate image. They will adhere more to the corporate image with the noose around their neck, the tie, right? Okay, so okay, and the corporate ideology and the home ideology are not the same. They create two different beings. The home ideology creates a loving individual. When they come out of mom's home, dad's home, mom and dad, especially, mom and dad, they want to give their children the best love. Okay, they want to. At least in my generation, they really wanted to. When both parents were in the home. Yes, things have gotten pretty complicated lately. With this, this new, our generation, our children's generation, right? Because the market is a lot tougher and a lot more things have happened socially where people aren't getting married and things like this. The breakdown of the family, basically, right? Which is creating a lot of problems in the family, right? So, now, and you got the two family homes, right? So, And so now with the two family homes, right, that creates a problem for the children in the market, and it makes it more easier to prey upon for the commercial market to be controlled through that birth certificate system, right? Because then that's an opportunity to get lost, right? But in the normal circumstances, when the family structure is strong, right, the child coming out of a strong home structure, family structure, is taught about love and compassion and empathy and all this stuff. And then when he gets out into the world, right, he gets out to the world, right, and then he has to okay, that loving side of him is conflicts with that side of him that's been programmed, indoctrinated by the school system, right, to act as a corporation. Okay, when he sees a child less fortunate than him, okay, he's to turn the other cheek, right? He's to be insensitive, okay, to his brother, to his brother, and I'm talking about his brother as it relates to other nations, right? So when it's time to go to war, right, and kill other nations, right, then that child grows up insensitive to him, or he sees the hunger in Africa, right? I'm gonna go to video 3. Salam alaikum.